it's actually a photograph. Oh my god, the sky is just blown up over there. Woo! Oh, hello guys, welcome back to New Zealand to what looks like is going to be an absolute peach of a sunset. I might regret saying that later, but we'll see. Now, you'll have seen from the title of my video that there's a bit of a topic this week, which is unplanned landscape photography. Now, for anyone that did not watch my vlog last week, here's a link to it here if you wanted to get a little bit of context. For anybody that did, you'll know I touched a little bit on the topic of failure in landscape photography, and you know how we go out and we have these sort of planned photography shoots and expectations, and for whatever reason things just go wrong and we don't really know why. Now that's kind of what I wanted to talk a little bit about this week, because this happened to me around about 3 weeks ago now, and I won't go into too much detail because I did in that vlog there. And it's took me until now to kind of figure out what actually happened, and I think I had over planned that particular photography shoot. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about that today, talk about planned landscape photography shoots, unplanned landscape photography shoots, pros and cons of both and all that sort of stuff. So I've come to a location today which I've basically just looked online for somewhere that is photogenic, and I don't have a clue what I'm going to shoot. I have no idea about subjects or compositions or anything. I'm just going to enjoy the walk. It's a bit of a coastal walk, and just see what I can find along the way, and we can have a little bit of a chat about that topic. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with the walk and see what we can find. Now, the first thing that I will say on this topic of unplanned landscape photography is that I love planned landscape photography. I don't want to discourage anybody, any budding landscape photographers out there to shy away from planning their shoots. In fact, it's probably one of my favourite things to do besides actual landscape photography. I think it's really exciting. I think it's inspirational, and yeah, don't not plan your shoots just because of this video. I love sitting at home and being on like Google Maps or Instagram or Flickr or Google Images or anything like that, you know, just trying to get a feel for a place before I go, figuring out where the sun's going to set, where it's going to rise, and yeah, absolutely love it. So make sure we get that straight first. But what I'm kind of trying to touch on is the fact that over planning, you know, you could end up just shooting yourself in the foot. And yeah, that's kind of what happened to me like 2 or 3 weeks ago there, unfortunately. So there's obviously pros and cons to both planned and unplanned landscape photography. So, you know, if you're not planning, it's exciting to explore a new location. My love for landscape photography started from traveling. Travel was sort of my first real passion, and my landscape photography kind of developed from that. So for me, the idea of exploring new places, new locations will always come first. So I find it really exciting to go somewhere completely unplanned, even if it's somewhere only 10 minutes drive from your house, like this is for me today. It's all new, it's all exciting, and landscape photography makes it even more exciting. It kind of feels like hunting or something. You're like hunting for subjects and hunting for compositions. Another good thing is that it's actually something that I've been repeating quite a lot in my vlogs, and for good reason. You know, you might leave at the end of the day. if you haven't planned your shoot without any pictures, but that's fine. If it's somewhere close to where you live, at least you've explored the place, you've got a feel for it. You might have even found, you know, a couple of potential compositions or subjects, and maybe the light just wasn't quite right, that sort of thing. So you know, obviously if it's close to you can always return, so that's another great thing about not planning your shoots. All that being said, I do think it's important to mention that, you know, it's positive as well to plan your landscape photography shoots. I plan most of my shoots nowadays, and usually it goes all right. What happened there 2 or 3 weeks ago was just a little bit of a one-off, so it kind of leads to the question of, you know, why wouldn't you plan your shoots if things go well most of the time? It's good to plan, it's good to get an idea of the weather, the location, what subjects there are to shoot, maybe see what other photographers have shot in that area to give you a good example. So, you know, it's not all bad planning. With regards to this place, I've not really found anything worthy of shooting just yet. As you might be able to see behind there, the sun's kind of drifted behind a few clouds, but I think we're going to get a pretty nice sunset. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can find a nice composition. So let's see. So I found a shot, and I'm going to have to be pretty quick because the setting sun is nearly behind the horizon now, so it's not leaving me with much time, you know, so I've got to get a wobble on. Anyway, this photograph is going to be all about the light. We're getting some gorgeous golden light on this sort of long grass here in the foreground, and there's some little yellow flowers which really caught my eye. And then the background, we've got the ocean obviously, and then right across over there we've got a volcano, New Zealand. It's called Rangitoto. It's quite the landmark around the Auckland area. I've photographed it a few times. I love it, I think it's a great subject. And a little bit of the cliffs over there back in Torbay, which is actually where I live, which is so pretty cool. So yeah, I'm going to get myself set up and try and talk you through the settings as quickly as possible. Okay, so to be honest with you guys, before I set this up, I didn't think it was going to be that good. But once I framed it up and looked through my viewfinder and stuff like that, it grew on me a little bit. So again, I guess I'll wait and see until I get home. I don't really know at the minute, but it looks all right. And like I said before, it's just this gorgeous light that we have here in the foreground that's just making the image. You cannot beat the golden hour for landscape photography. It just creates such beautiful light. So f11, ISO 100, and then that's giving me a shutter speed of around about 1/5 of a second. So pretty simple image. You're not stupid. I don't need to go into too much detail about composition and stuff here. Again, all about the light, so let me know if you like that one. We just got this explosion of a sunset to the west, obviously where the sun is setting, and as you can probably see behind me, nothing has happened at all the clouds are very low over there. So all I've literally done is turn my camera 90 degrees to the right, and I kind of had this subject here, these diagonal trees lending themselves to me, which led naturally into that beautiful sky in the background. So I took my first image at about 1/40th of a second, which looked pretty good on the back of my camera, and I decided to try a little bit of a long exposure with my 10-stop filter on the front as well, which was giving me an exposure time of about 1 minute and 30 seconds, 1 minute and 40 seconds thereabouts, which is still setting off now. So this is my second image. I don't know if I'm going to show you the long exposure or the first image, but hopefully a nice image. Let me know what you think, guys. Okay, so I don't really know if I want to say this, but I'm going to go ahead because it's pretty funny. I got them 2 images in the can, and I was pretty happy with the way they looked on the back of the camera, so hopefully they're going to be nice. I carried on walking back along the coastal track back towards the car, and on the way past I spotted this sort of little beach, little cove that I thought would look pretty cool. At the time I just didn't fancy shooting anything coastal, but I decided to head on down, and I was feeling good about myself, you know. I just got them 2 pretty nice images. I thought, oh yeah, maybe I can get a third. Anyway, got to the sort of bottom of the hill, to the beach, and there was like 5 naked men. Turns out it's a nudist beach. Brilliant. So absolutely nothing against that for anyone that's sort of into that sort of thing, but as you can understand, it was just a little bit of a shock. So I kind of got down, and then I was like, oh Jesus, and then just started going the opposite direction straight away. So that was that location out of the question. But you know, can't win them all. So it's a bit dark now, and probably going to call it a day. I don't think I'm going to find anything on the way back. The sun has set well below the horizon. So as always, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I shall see you next week. Out.